ACC, but they've got a veteran team. Couture, Mutz, feels like they've played a lot of basketball for the Hokies.
They've got 5 scorers on the floor. Virginia Tech is a rhythm offensive team. Duke has to get tips, deflections, and be disruptive and dictate with their defense tonight.
Blue Devils in white, the Hokies in the orange. Backdoor, Lively gets us started.
Well, you can't draw it up any better than that to start the game.
Nope. 2-0 Duke. And the emergence of Dereck Lively felt on the opening basket.
The matchup to keep your eye on early is Tyrese Proctor right here on Hunter Couture. Couture has made 12 triples the last 2 times they've played Duke. Jon Scheyer doesn't want that to happen tonight.
Shot clock inside a 10, 3 ball away and good for Edmond, Oklahoma sophomore Sean Padula.
And I will say Duke will switch 1 through 5 with Dereck Lively playing the 5 position.
Padula had been just 5 of his last 20 from behind the line, but he puts the Hokies in front on the first swing.
Duke is so good with their spacing, and they are really starting to play like a connected team.
Basile hand up, but Filipowski rims out a 3. Virginia Tech took a 6-point loss to Miami on Tuesday night. Hit just 7 of 22 from behind the line and only 42% from the floor. MJ Collins, the freshman, fall away on Mitchell.
Virginia Tech doesn't go to the glass, and they usually send 1.5. They're more worried about getting back and setting their defense and trying to get an O board.
You see that Virginia Tech's looking for their first win in Cameron since 07. Duke trying to stay unbeaten at home. And the follow by Roach puts him on the board. The matchups here tonight, Debbie, especially at distance, seem to be really fascinating.
Yeah, I think there's so much scoring on both sides of the ball here. And for Justin Mutz, he's got to be aggressive tonight. Lively's going to sit and drop coverage. He's going to stay back and protect the rim. They want to pull him out of the paint if they can.
Here's Padula kind of backing down Roach and a fall away.
Roach and Filipowski are so good in that drag action.
Proctor has really emerged.
You know, Jon Scheyer told us 70% of their sets from the point guard are run by him now. Roach is more playing on the wing.
Mitchell draws the foul with the pump fake in traffic. A couple of free throws coming for the freshman from Kansas City, Kansas.
And that's one of the things, Wes, that has changed about Duke's team is that Proctor on the top of the floor, Roach more on the wing. As Proctor got more comfortable running the offense, Jeremy Roach is really good playing on either side, and he's very good at attacking closeouts on skip passes and plays that he can get to the paint.
Foul on Mutz as Mitchell knocks the free throw down, and there is the 4th-year head coach, 58-year-old Mike Young, who grew up in Radford, about 15 minutes away from Blacksburg. His dad, Bob, was a very popular figure in his life and a guy who was familiar, and of course he came back home in essence to coach Virginia Tech after an incredible run at Wofford.
He wore number 5 at Emory and Henry.
Here we go. A couple of free throws from Mitchell. Padula thought about it, now cuts it loose.
Yeah, Padula usually does not hesitate on that, but that was Filipowski lurking with that 7-foot frame on the switch.
Proctor trying to beat Collins.
Well, Couture right now caught on the Filipowski.
Got to find him, don't you, Debbie? Number 1, the guy at 7'1".
That's why he's shooting better than 60% from the floor. A lot of plays like that. Woo.
Early 5-point lead for Duke.
Look at Mitchell. He can dig and can help because he's got the Collins matchup.
Mutz turns over Lively. Rebound Filipowski. Virginia Tech getting nothing.
No, that's a really tough contested shot.
Mitchell left hand.
Mike Young doesn't typically call timeouts in this situation early in the game because he trusts his veteran guys.
Basile's been very quiet early. Mutz spinning against Proctor. Collins sets, fires, it's partially blocked. Mitchell. 8-0 run by the Blue Devils. Roach on the drive. Scoop wouldn't go. Now Padula trying to race to the rim against Lively, misses.
How about taking on the second best shot blocker in the ACC?
Filipowski, an offensive foul call.
See, and that's why Mike Young doesn't call timeout. Duke's got a 7-point lead. He's waiting for the under 16 timeout.
ACC basketball is presented for you by Wendy's.
First half in Cameron. And watch this play by Lively. Okay, hold it right here. He's going to set the screen, and then he's going to slip. Watch what happens to Basile. He doesn't stay attached, so that leaves the space wide open for Lively to get to the bucket. And everyone's cleared over. It's a two-man game on a two-side, and it is an easy deuce for the Blue Devils.
Debbie, we saw John Shire in their walkthrough this morning do a lot on the ball screen action. Not just at the wing, but also at the top, too, as part of what their normal offensive package looks like.
100%. And the Duke spacing is getting better. Their cuts are getting sharper. Their timing and rhythm is good, and that's what Virginia Tech has always been good at. They're a very good rhythm offensive team.
No changes for the Hokies, so Couture, and here's Collins again with Padula, Basile, and Mutz. Duke still on that 8-0 run. Padula tries to snap it, cannot. Mitchell had a hand on it. Basile touched it last.
Sean Padula is fearless when it comes to attacking on the offensive end, and a couple of times he's gotten that switch with Filipowski. He's got to be able to make a really good decision with that switch.
Hokies have missed their last 7 shots from the floor. Here's Roach, a little step back. Too strong, and Padula the rebound for the Hokies. Duke was 9 of 23 in the Blacksburg meeting between the two schools from behind the line. Meanwhile, Mutz and the Hokies were 10 of 19 as Justin Mutz gets on the board, snaps the Blue Devil streak of 8 in a row.
That's a really great adjustment by Mike Young's club. See, Justin Mutz that time is so much more aggressive. Look where Lively is under the basket when Mutz catches it. You're trying to pull Lively away, and the only way you're going to do that is to get Mutz to be able to be aggressive.
Mutz a 63% free throw shooter. He's the 3rd best field goal shooter in conference play in the ACC. But he can only get the 2 points on the 3-point try. Roach against Couture. There's Lively again trying to help.
See, look where Basile is this time, right? This time he stays more attached. He doesn't let him slip.
4 to shoot, Mitchell. Strong move, couldn't finish. Proctor follows. Tyrese Proctor has been +9 assist to turnover ratio last 4 games.
Well, he and Roach did not turn it over at all in the Louisville game.
And now Filipowski a steal, and the big fella finishes it off.
That's a little rumbling, stumbling on that steal.
I don't know. I thought he moved pretty good for 7 feet and 230. And there's an offensive foul on the screen, and it's against Couture.
This is a flat lateral pass with nothing on it. Filipowski, great anticipation. That'll be the easiest bucket he'll see in a long time.
Yep. The crowd roaring because the legendary Blue Devil Grant Hill is in attendance here tonight. There's Ryan Young, who came into the ball game during the dead ball along with Jacob Grandison.
Duke's bench, Wes.
Yep.
Best in the league, 20.5 points a game. So productive.
And like the rest of the team, feels like they're getting better. Baseline Collins into the corner, and this is Rice. Rodney Rice playing in just his 3rd game of the year. Injuries have sidetracked the DeMatha freshman, and there's a 3-ball from Grandison. Timeout, Mike Young. Yep, Grant even nods his approval. Heck of a run, 9-0 run by the Blue Devils earlier.
Look how wide Grandison runs the floor. He gets to the break at the 3. He looks for rebounders. Why not? And Grant Hill says, all right, not bad. Look pretty good.
That's terrific. That is terrific. 14-point lead. Couture sneaks baseline. First basket for Hunter Couture.
Really good look. Good backdoor. That's what you want to do against the Duke pressure. They're playing up the line. They're overplaying.
Duke's had an 8-0 run, a 9-0 run. They've hit their last 4 shots. Here's Young working inside on Lynn Kidd. And that one rolled off the front rim.
I mean, Ryan Young's only shooting 72% from the floor in ACC play.
Yeah.
He usually doesn't miss those.
Collins. Now here's Rice. Long 3 from the front. Good. Rodney Rice's first 3 of the year. He was coming back from injury, Debbie, then missed 10 games with a finger. Came back the other night, played 11 minutes against Miami, and now a 3-ball off the bench.
Got 11 minutes in the Miami game. He's just going to work himself into game reps.
Proctor gets the friendly bounce. Debbie, why is Duke's improvement almost tethered to Tyrese Proctor's improvement, you think? Just because of the way he handles the ball?
I think confidence. I think he can guard multiple positions. He's got Couture. Last game they played, Roach had Couture. I think his defense has gotten better in his understanding of playing the American game, right? Yeah. It's a little bit different, a little bit more physical, a little faster. He certainly has made the adjustment.
Basket for Basile. He'll shoot free throws when we come back. Rodney Rice, a 3 off of Mike Young's bench, and then Tyrese Proctor answers at the other end for the Blue Devils. Duke by 10 at Cameron.
She's got logo range. She leads the nation in assists. She averaged 27 points a game. She is must-see TV. She is an exciting player with a high IQ who loves playing with her teammates. Should be a great game tomorrow.
Boy, tell me all that in the Big Ten, huh? And the ACC showdown with Louisville and Notre Dame.
Yeah, I mean, that game went to overtime the first time, and Olivia Miles hit a shot to win the game at the buzzer. I think Louisville will be ready to go at home in the Yum Center. That's a tough place to win.
Duke's hit 5 of their last 6 from the floor. They've got a 9-point lead. Pair of runs here in the first nearly 9 minutes have sparked John Shire's club. Roach trying to get some help from Young. Filipowski splits a double team. Tough shot off the glass. Rice ultimately corrals.
Really good defensive effort by Mike Young's team coming off the timeout. High hands, closing out, keeping the ball out of the paint.
Young's got to hope his team's calmed down. They're 4 of their last 5 from the floor after a 1 of 8 start here tonight. Thus the 9-point deficit.
You remember one of the things Coach Young told us before the game, the more sides they get. Wow.
Rodney Rice and 1. Goodness.
How about Rodney Rice? The more sides they get, the better their opportunity and percentage of scoring. This is on the Filipowski switch. The concentration to finish. Now he's going to the line for a potential 4-point play.
Second on Filipowski, by the way. And here is Rice, and these are his first free throw attempts of the year. His second and third field goals of the year have come here in this first half with a pair of 3s. And Virginia Tech just trails 2 possessions here. Roach trying to create some distance, and it rattles in. Second field goal for Roach.
And Jeremy Roach now running the point with Proctor on the bench. This is part of the versatility and the emerging trend about why Duke is getting better.
And Lynn Kidd had the dunk rattle out. 8-point lead for the Blue Devils. Whitehead's been quiet from a scoring perspective. Dereck averaging almost 10 against the league. Roach lobs and Lively dunks.
So smart. He reads that second level so well with the ball in his hands.
10-point lead again on 4 in a row by the Blue Devils.
That's 3 dunks for Lively.
Kidd sets a screen. Rice on the pocket pass. And now Padula inside. Kidd recovers and scores. Second and third effort pays off for Virginia Tech. Here's Whitehead. And now Rice and Virginia Tech turn and go the other way. Mutz. Well, Rice has got to be feeling pretty confident here now, Debbie.
Yeah, and I like him with the ball in his hands. He gets Padula off the ball. He's a terrific shooter.
And that one bounces away.
Maybe feeling a little too confident.
Well, he's changed kind of the temperament of what they're doing, it looks like,
sure,
offensively. And Roach will be fouled by Kidd on the drive. It'll be the third on Virginia Tech and the first on the Clemson transfer from Gainesville, Florida.
Draw help, leave it at the rim. Really good read by Jeremy Roach and a great finish by Lively.
And Roach will go to the line. Duke hit both their free throws earlier with Mark Mitchell. The Blue Devils, 75.5% in conference play. They're just 7th in the ACC. 5 now for Roach. 7 double-figure games in the last 8 for the junior from Leesburg, Virginia. He's had 20 or more 4 times. And second one bounds away. Here's Padula and the Hokies. Rice came out of the lineup, by the way. Couture has come back onto the floor with Collins, Kidd, and Mutz. And Proctor stole it from Couture. 3-on-1. Proctor the layup.
Anytime you put the ball through your legs from back to front, you bring it right to the defense, and that's exactly what Couture did there. It was an easy pick for Proctor. What a great defensive play.
Freshman's got 7, and now we got a foul off the ball, and Couture is down.
We're going to have to look at this.
And they're sending the teams to their respective benches here. And it's an 11-point lead. The foul is on Grandison. It'll be his second. It's the 5th on Duke here in this first half, but the details are at the monitor with Clarence Armstrong and Ted Valentine having a look. Debbie?
That's what you call bumping the cutter, but it's a displacement of the cutter.
So Ted Valentine and Clarence Armstrong now in conversation with Jeff Pond. And we'll step aside at Cameron. Duke by 11 when we come back. Debbie, this has been upgraded to a flagrant 1 on Jacob Grandison.
I think if you look out of the corner of your eye, Grandison sees him coming, and it gets upgraded because it's excessive or unnecessary and avoidable. That would be the language that the officials would use on whether they upgrade it to an F1 or not.
So we'll have free throws with 8:02 here to go for Virginia Tech. And there is the most outstanding player of the ACC tournament a year ago in Brooklyn, Hunter Couture. He had 31 points, including 7 of 9 threes in the ball game at Barclays Center to beat Duke by 13 and win Virginia Tech's first ACC championship. And Couture is a 72% free throw shooter. That's his 3rd point. He is, as the second one goes down. Quick reminder to you, Saturday Primetime presented by John Deere is in Spokane. Number 15, St. Mary's, and number 12, Gonzaga tonight. Dan Schulman, Jay Billis, Sean Farnham at the kennel. to see if the Zags can claim the West Coast Conference title.
Well, St. Mary's won the first one, and everybody knows about Drew Timme, but I want you to keep your eye on Logan Johnson, the point guard for Randy Bennett's club.
Second on Lively on the drive by Basile. Yeah, Aiden Mahaney was the star for Randy Bennett's team in the first one, but Johnson and the Gales are more than welcome to the kennel tonight. Follows our coverage here from Cameron. Basile.
From Cameron to the kennel. You can't get much better than that in college basketball.
Yeah, terrific game out there tonight with Dan, Jay, and Sean on the call for you. And at halftime, we'll see Reese Davis, Seth Greenberg, and Sean Farnham in our Jeep halftime report.
You know, Reese and I were talking about the Davenport. I wonder if he got the Sean Farnham flatbread. I'm guessing he didn't.
Sean does an unbelievable job in the month of February with that, doesn't he?
Sean's great.
Yeah. That ball got knocked away. Proctor controls it for the Blue Devils with 15 to shoot here. Into the corner, Roach. Nice drive. Basile went down under the basket, but I think Roach would have been ensconced to his third field goal. 7 points for Jeremy Roach.
That's what I'm talking about with him on the side of the floor, attacking a closeout.
Padula fighting for space, scores on a soft turnaround. 5 for Sean Padula. Feels like Virginia Tech, in order to get any closer, Debbie's going to have to attack somewhere from long range.
Well,
Rice is 2 and Padula's 1. That's it.
That's it, right. Basile hasn't been able to get going yet either.
Yep.
And he's been their best player in the last 9 games. He's been averaging 22 points.
Proctor, a 3. Box out clean from Basile. Hokies trail 7, under 7 to go. Mutz on the perimeter. Little crossover in traffic and couldn't finish it.
Ever since that timeout Mike Young called, Justin Mutz has been looking to put it on the deck and get to the hoop.
He had 9 points, 6 assists in the first meeting. Here is Mitchell.
A little mouse in the house action.
Turn, can't finish over the top of Padula, who had fallen. Feels like the Hokies might be given a window here, but see if they can take advantage of it. Now Collins. Mutz tees up a 3. Virginia Tech is fighting it on the perimeter. Not many attempts. They do have the 3 hits. Young trying to square Basile. Here's Mitchell for 3. 7.5 for Mark Mitchell. Just his 16th 3 of the year, Debbie.
I was here when Mark Mitchell hit the 3 to beat Notre Dame. And I learned that week he spent countless hours in the gym making 100 corner threes on both sides leading into the Notre Dame game.
Wow.
If he can add that consistently to his game, that's another weapon.
And Mutz off the nice bounce pass. 4 points for Justin Mutz. 8-point Duke lead, coming up on 5 to go in this first half. In traffic, Mitchell. Jeff Pond will say before the shot. Foul on the deck. Will be the 4th on Virginia Tech. And it'll be on MJ Collins.
It's a really good cut. Young going one-on-one inside. Mutz over helps, but the analytics would tell you pinch on Mitchell until he consistently hits the 3. And then a nice drop-down pass by Basile to Mutz.
Blue Devils turn it over on the possession out of the foul. 8-point game. Filipowski playing with 2 fouls. Padula, a deep 3.
Yeah, each time he's gotten that matchup, he's tried to shoot over the top of Filipowski, right?
Yeah.
I don't think you want to dribble into a ball screen or a dribble handoff to get the switch back. You want to take them off the bounce.
Here's Whitehead setting and scoring. 33rd 3 for Dereck Whitehead is his first point of the game. Debbie, when he's 100% and healthy,
yes,
I think he's a handful.
I think that's why he is the disruptor. He can elevate their play to the next level.
Mutts inside will score cleanly again.
Great screen by Couture inside.
Still a 9-point game. Under 4 to go. Here is Proctor trying to reroute, lost his balance. Now Filipowski on the hard drive. 7 to shoot for Proctor. Tees up Padula. And Young was bumped out of there by Basile, and that will be his first. 5 on Virginia Tech. Hokies are rolling the ball around the perimeter and getting some baskets out of it, Debbie.
You love the ball movement. You love the switching of the sides of the floor. Great screen by Couture. Frees up Mutts inside.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Wendy's. 2 for $6. The best deal in fast food. And Justin Hardy was a Division III basketball player at Washington University in St. Louis. And he and John Shire became connected, and as did the Duke staff with Justin Hardy. And you saw the note at the bottom. In late May, Justin Hardy lost his battle with stomach cancer and passed away. Well, in kind of an enduring connection, Debbie, that is Justin Hardy's family and friends today. And they were at the shoot-around this morning. And those are Duke jerseys with the number 12 on them to honor their late son. And, God, what an unbelievable commitment by John Shire and his team to maintain that connection in such a tough time for that family and that program, I guess.
Well, Duke is a special place, and John understands that. And he and his wife, like Coach Krzyzewski and Mickey, and their families have embraced the Duke Children's Hospital. And I think he understands his power and his gift, and he shares it.
Sure does. And Bob and Karen Hardy, his sister Jackie, brother Nathan, our thoughts and prayers continue to be with you in the memory of Justin. And there is a foul on Ryan Young. And that's 7 on Duke, so 1-1 in the final 3:08. And John Shire, at 35 years of age, from Northbrook, Illinois. We were talking about this afternoon. He's done a phenomenal job in just the way he sets up and calls the game for his team, Debbie.
Especially in the second half when his offense is in front of him. But he invited me to practice yesterday, so I got to come over here and spend some time. And I mean, it's quite a clinic, you know, for a basketball junkie like me, and to be in here and to listen to Coach Shire and his staff go through scout and areas of improvement that they're working on. You know, Dereck Lively, I heard his voice on the back row calling out defense. I mean, John said he's got the best freshman voice that he has had here. Just the different schematic ways they go about thinking about how to guard ball screen defense. It's really amazing. Yep. And I'm really grateful that I got invited.
Yep. He's done a really, really nice job in the stair steps of the improvement this basketball team has seen as it works its way into late February for sure. Whitehead, hard drive to the basket. Mitchell will follow the miss.
I mean, look at that sequence right there. Freshman, freshman, freshman.
Lead is 9, and Mitchell's got 9. Yep.
And unselfish.
Yep.
Turned down a good shot for a better shot. They go with the Iverson action here, and they love this pin down for Couture. He's not been able to get that play yet. Coming off that curl, off that pin down.
Nice bounce pass. Maligel Poteet had it blocked by Young. 3 on the shot clock. Right back to Poteet again. He couldn't finish. Hit the rim, bounces away. So the young man playing close to his home in Reidsville, North Carolina. The transfer from Rice had 2 good looks, couldn't crack it, and Roach answers at the other end.
Well, you're feeling confident if you're going to pull the trigger on that. Wow.
11-point lead now for Duke. Back into double figures.
Creating separation off the bounce.
Padula trying to find a crease as it roll off the iron. Final 90 of this first half at Cameron. Here's Proctor.
Couture does such a good job guarding.
Young out of a double team in the corner. Whitehead squares. And Padula now with just better than a minute to go. Feels like Virginia Tech, trailing 11, needs something to take to the locker room.
I mean, Duke's defense has been terrific, right? It's been disruptive. It has kept them out of rhythm. They've been physical on cuts. That messes up your timing.
37% in the first half. There's Mutz on the drive. And a Blue Devil timeout. Justin Mutz has 8. But John Shire wants to talk to his team. And Florida State, Devin Cambridge and Matthew Cleveland, I offer you the Jeep halftime report, Devin.
Oh, yeah, the guys are going to have fun breaking that down.
Holy smokes.
How about this right here? Good timeout by John Shire. I think he can get a 2-for-1 here. So let's see if they can score quickly. Since there's 43 on the game clock, 30 on the shot.
Proctor lets it roll.
I think that's what they're trying to do. A quick hitter right here.
Roach. Good help by Basile. Here's Mitchell. Into traffic, scores with 34 seconds left.
And so what Grant Basile does is he takes his time inbounding it so that they don't get a chance for a 2-for-1.
Nice.
Smart.
Padula and the Hokies try to get something going to the locker room here. Rice is back in the game. He's got a pair of threes. It's Basile for a triple. Roach will heave it from three-quarter court, and the Blue Devils take an 11-point lead to the locker room. They are guarding at Cameron tonight, but they're scoring it as well. Blue Devils by 11.
It's the way they delivered in the first half.
I tell you what, the Blue Devils impressive too. They held Virginia Tech, Debbie, to 37.9%. The Hokies got 3 threes of their 11 made field goals, and they'll have the ball here to start second half.
Justin Mutz was very aggressive in the first half. I think he needs to continue to look to get to the paint, and see Mike Young's going to isolate him on the first play of the second half.
Backing down on Lively, and one for Mutz. Wow. Let's take a look at the game time moment brought to you by Guinness. And you see the first half of the January 23rd ball game. And the results tonight in the first half for Mutz and the Hokies. The threes, the 7 threes in the first half. In Blacksburg, only 3 here tonight, but they do get a 3-point trip to start half 2.
Duke trying to get a split in the regular season. Virginia Tech won that game in Blacksburg.
Filipowski picked up 2 fouls and only had 1 field goal. Remember, that was that length of the floor dunk for his only points in the opening 20. And now here is Collins scooping up a deflected ball in the backcourt with 15 to shoot.
All a part of the defensive game plan. Tips, deflections, disruption, breaking the Virginia Tech rhythm.
Padula, and it wouldn't go down for him.
Not many easy buckets for Virginia Tech, right? Everything contested.
Roach kind of winding through the lane and then nearly turned it over. Somehow saved it. Maybe twice. Proctor. Back for Roach, 10 to shoot, and here's Filipowski. Look at the quick double, and there's Lively. Wow.
I'm not sure that's a part of the game plan to bring the double like that. Basile left Lively wide open under the basket. I mean, you may want to, change how you bring the double if you bring it, but that left Lively wide open. Even though if Mike Young wanted to do that, that was not a good play.
Drive for Collins is MJ Collins' first point of the game.
Yeah, I think Coach Young is waving off the double right now, telling everybody, stay with your guy.
Look at Roach over the top of the Filipowski screen. Jeremy Roach's first triple of the night. He's got a dozen, Debbie. 11-point lead where it stood at the break for the Blue Devils. Basile spin. Here's Proctor. Mitchell. Hard drive against Basile and scores. 13 for Mitchell. He's led Duke in scoring twice this year, and he leads them in scoring tonight.
He's been aggressive off the bounce. John Shire told us the last time we were here, he just wants him to play. Don't think, just play. Use your instincts as a basketball player. He's doing that tonight.
Absolutely. 13-point advantage. Go back to the point you made a moment ago. They spread the floor so well. Here's Filipowski on the drive, and Mutz will pick up the foul. Looked like Virginia Tech did call off that double that cost him a moment ago.
Yeah, now watch Basile right here. He's going to come and double. Look where it happens to Lively. He is wide open. He goes right to the bucket. Are all of his baskets dunks tonight?
Pretty much.
I'm not sure if Basile was supposed to double, then Collins was supposed to drop down and take care of Lively on that play at the rim.
Foul was on Mutz. It was his second. And the free throw by Filipowski rolls away.
And you know what, Wes? This is what I'm talking about with Coach Shire being a really good play caller. He's trying to get Filipowski going, right? To your point about only having one basket.
Right.
He's their leading scorer. He's been their leading scorer most of the season. It's the quality of the catch for Filipowski because you can put him anywhere. He can score down on the block. He can score from three. He's a really good pick and pop guy. He does a really good job with his footwork and getting his hips around.
Yeah. A physical 7-foot, 230-pound guy. There's Padula. Tried to hit Couture, and Proctor got a hand in the passing lane. It'll stay with Virginia Tech with 15 to shoot on the possession. The Hokies are the second best field goal shooting team in ACC play at almost 47%. It's not going that way tonight with as well as Duke has played defensively.
Oh, and Hunter Couture has not even been able to attempt a three yet, which would be part of the Duke game plan. Run him off the three-point line, and they've done that very well.
Yep. He was at the top of the scouting report for sure. Nice cut. Oh, and Lively couldn't hang on to Roach's delivery. So it will go back to Virginia Tech on the Duke turnover. Third turnover of the night for Coach Shire's club. And Debbie, it's the one thing you've talked about with Duke. The improvement coincides with this.
So when they played on the road at Virginia and at Miami, they turned the ball over a combined 43 times. In the last 3 games, Duke is averaging 9 turnovers a game. The other thing is the Virginia game, 24 personal fouls. Virginia shot 22 free throws. In the last 3 games, they're averaging 10 fouls and 10 free throws for the opponent.
Oh, Basile caught Filipowski. So the foul on Basile, his second. It's the second on Virginia Tech, and our officiating crew, Clarence Armstrong and Jeff Pond, have gone to the monitor. And Filipowski up and talking to longtime Duke trainer Jose Fonseca. We step aside at Cameron. Blue Devil.
Overturn that if you want. Yes, they're going to overturn it. That is exactly the right call because watch right here. Filipowski is in Basile's cylinder. So you can go to the monitor and reverse this call. It's a good job by the officials. It's unfortunate that Filipowski got hit in the face, but this is the officials adjudicating the rule the way it was written.
So it's the third on Filipowski, and it's the first on Duke. So, Debbie, let's kind of outline. It used to be called the principle of verticality, right? And typically it was used in, goaltending, baskets, going to the ceiling of arenas and things like that, right? And now we're talking about players defending other players.
Yeah, it's a rule put in to protect the offense, right? I mean, he didn't have room to pivot.
Right.
I like the rule. I like the call.
Mutz Tried to dump it inside. He got slapped out. Here's Filipowski, and that'll be a block on Rodney Rice. First on the freshman from Clinton, Maryland. Third on Virginia Tech. And Chris Carrawell and Clarence Armstrong are nose-to-nose at the Duke bench after this moment or two.
How about Filipowski at 7 foot with a little spin move in the middle of the floor? I love it.
Roach a triple. 15 for Roach.
Well, Virginia Tech's got to lock in on the defensive end right now. They got to see if they can get Couture going.
Absolutely. He's got a field goal and 2 free throws, and there goes Mutz to the basket. And a Blue Devil foul on Mark Mitchell.
One of the things that Hunter Couture does so well is move without the ball. John Shire told us today he thought he might be the best in the league. And he changes the space on the floor, whether he scores or not, because you have to guard him. And Duke has elected to face guard him.
Look at Lively switch off to Couture. Hunter will take it on the drive, had it knocked away.
Well, by design.
Here's Rodney Rice, Debbie, out of time. Out front, Basile with the shot clock going to 0. And a rebound and a foul will be tagged to Mutz. It'll be his 3rd and the 4th of the half on the Hokies.
And by design, without Sean Padula on the floor, Hunter Couture is getting in that switch with Dereck Lively. And see, that time he tried to take him to the basket where Padula was settling for jump shots.
Right. Blue Devil lead is 17, almost 5 minutes into the second half. Deflected by Rice. Here's Proctor with 10 to shoot. Left corner, another 3 from Roach. Did that get touched? I don't think so. It hit the side of the glass. Here's Proctor with the clock winding down. Double figures for Proctor on his second 3 of the night. And it's a 20-point Blue Devil lead. They've had an 8-0 run, a 9-0 run, and now a 12-0 run. Look at this. How do you know it's your night? When you save it from going out of bounds and knock down a triple. Blue Devils a big lead at Cameron. Institution, they ended up playing a secret game, and NC Central won the game. And it just shows you just how much basketball and how much impact John McClendon had.
I believe it was a Sunday morning when everyone was at church, right?
Yeah.
Was that here? Over here at Durham?
It was in Durham. The game was played in Durham, yeah. And the medical school students were all former high-level college basketball players. It's just an amazing piece of black history involving basketball in the state of North Carolina. And, of course, the legacy that John McClendon left in basketball in this state is remarkable.
I got to meet him once. What a gentleman. Naismith Hall of Famer.
An amazing, amazing contributor and coach to the game, whose influences are still felt, by the way. 20-point lead for the Blue Devils. Roach on the drive.
Rejects the screen. Straight line drive to the basket.
Grant Hill likes it. Even like that Grandison 3 he saw when he first got comfortable tonight on the bleachers here at Cameron. 22-point lead.
Look at Mitchell's activity.
He's been great. Trying to take Couture and draws the foul.
I mean, that is really good defense to get that steal by Mitchell.
Second on Couture, 5th on the Hokies.
I mean, look at him putting it together on both sides of the basketball, right?
Yeah.
A turnover by Couture, and Mitchell draws a foul.
And you can start to maybe, and you hit on this at the top about the characteristics of each of these young guys. And here's the way the standings look. Pitt, by the way, beat Syracuse. Miami lost on the Cleveland Heave. You see Virginia, who preceded our coverage here tonight, lost in Chapel Hill. What a final week of the regular season it's going to be in the ACC. And let me remind you that Miami and Pitt play next Saturday night, 6 o'clock on ACC Network in Coral Gables. their first meeting was terrific. And the Panthers edging the Canes at the Peterson Event Center.
I mean, there's all kinds of styles of play in this league, and it prepares you for postseason. Remember last year, people were saying the league was down, right, Wes? And then Miami's in the Elite Eight, and Duke and North Carolina are in the Final Four, and Carolina's playing for the title.
Yep. We were here 51 weeks ago tonight for Coach K's last game, and Duke was kind of the given in the tournament. And they made it all the way to New Orleans, as did Carolina. But remember, there were 3 teams in the Elite Eight. There's Padula, a little lefty scoop. Third field goal for Sean Padula.
That was an incredible night being here on Coach K's last night. North Carolina fans remember it well.
Yeah.
Duke goes to their horns. They've got so many options out of this set.
Roach kind of take it over, tried to feed Lively. Deflected away. Here's Rice. What we've seen from Rodney Rice tonight's been impressive. Now Basile on the drive. That's an offensive foul. Filipowski, terrific job to step in front of Grant Basile to draw his second and the 6th on the Hokies.
Roach on one end over penetrates, needs to take that shot right here. Filipowski can have a cup of coffee waiting on this one.
It's 5 fouls on Virginia Tech. The thing we were talking about a moment ago, each of these young guys and the way that it's developed for Duke, Debbie.
Yes.
Filipowski going to the basket. The idea that it might have been Filipowski from the start. Whitehead as he got healthy. Then Lively. Now you see Proctor's emergence. Now Mitchell having a end-to-end game tonight. The confidence level they must have as they wind down this regular season. What a huge benefit it is for John Shire going to postseason.
I think it's the details of March. It's the move to March. It's when you elevate your team, when you start to see how they start to flow and connect together. You see it on the defensive end. They're loud in practice. Lively has a great voice on the backside of their D. Right? On the offensive end, their spacing is outstanding. One of the things I learned yesterday watching practice is it's not always the deep basket cut that John Shire wants his team to take. Sometimes it's the shallow cut, which quickly gets you into your spacing and opens up the floor faster.
Lively and one. And I think Derek's first question was, did it go in? Yes, it did. Yes, it did. 22-point lead for the Blue Devils. Foul was on Lynn Kidd.
Drop-offs, putbacks, rim runs. You don't even have to run a play for him. He is all over the rim on both sides of the ball. Dereck Lively, a great shot blocker and a great finisher inside.
You're watching the ACC on ESPN tonight with Debbie Antonelli, Wes Durham. And, of course, looking ahead, Virginia Tech is going to be part of our ACC Network doubleheader on Tuesday night. The Corey cast is in Charlottesville. Corey Alexander, Dan Bonner. A big game with Clemson at number 6, Virginia. And, of course, Virginia Tech is at the Yum Center 9 o'clock to see the Louisville Cardinals of Kenny Payne. Available on ACC Network and always on the ESPN app.
I like that you coined it the Corey cast. I had a chance to participate.
I know, yeah. You were in Atlanta, right?
Yeah, it was fun.
Yep. Saw the Wolfpack and the Jackets. And Rice fouled on the drive.
By design, switch the shoot, drive it hard against the big. Good play call by Mike Young coming out of the timeout.
Kyle Filipowski called for the foul. It is his 4th. With 11:37 to go. And there's Mike Young. As Rodney Rice will go to the line. He's missed his only free throw attempt of the night and of the year. But he's changed that with the conversion there.
They were really counting on Rodney Rice at the beginning of the year.
Yep.
I was in Blacksburg for practice in October, and he didn't get a preseason with the team. They had that foot injury. before you can see what he could become.
Well, he plays at Syracuse, and then the next day in practice has the finger injury.
Such bad luck.
Oh, unbelievable. And I think they probably had some discussion about whether or not you're going to redshirt the year, right?
Right.
But give him credit for coming back off the injury. He went through some shooting drills last Saturday night prior to the Pitt game, and then you saw him Tuesday night against Miami. He's been much better here tonight. A little spot up by Roach.
I mean, look at Mitchell in a crowd get his hands on that basketball.
Yep. You hit it right. Disruptor. Basile left the 12-footer a foot short. Trying again on Mitchell. Here's Maligel Poteet strong to the basket. He can't buy one.
He's had a couple right at the rim that he's not been able to finish.
Yep.
I think Basile, when he gets to that midline and he has a chance for that half hook, he just needs to go to that and not counter.
Virginia Tech under 37% tonight from the floor. And Couture reaches in, and Jeff Pond, I think, is whistled the foul. And it's on Padula. And there is Kyle Filipowski. Tough night at the office from a scoring perspective. Tell you what, caught an elbow in the nose. I mean, he's
tough, though. He's a competitor. He's tough. He responded after the Virginia loss where he didn't score, didn't have a basket, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he's played well since.
He went scoreless in Charlottesville. And now has had 3 games this year with 20 or more. He had 29, a career high the first time these two squared off. There's a turnover. Rice tried to dump it in traffic. Halfway through the second half, and Whitehead missing. There's Mitchell again, Debbie.
He's got a very high motor. He's long and athletic. He's got a quick jump.
Crowd counts down the shot clock. Proctor to Ryan Young. Couldn't finish. And Young commits the foul, chasing down the loose ball. It'll be the second on Young. And a quick check of tonight's Wendy's Wooden Watch. And, Chris Murray went for 26 and 8 in that wild game at Carver Hawkeye today. Oscar Tshiebwe in Kentucky pounded Auburn. Debbie?
Yeah. Without Severe Wheeler still not playing.
Yeah. And Mike Miles Jr. is 100% for Jamie Dixon and the Horns, and the Frogs, rather, the Horned Frogs. Backdoor basket, Couture. 9 now for Hunter Couture. Grandison, a deep 3.
John Shire likes a lot of that go screen action or that pass-through screen where you fool the defender because they're switching.
There's Padula. A layup in transition. Sean Padula's got 9. Couture, the field goal a moment ago, has 6. So 15 from a pair of guys who, on average, pick up about 25, 26 points a ball game. And with 8:46 to go, a timeout by the Blue Devils. Well, Virginia Tech trying to win for the second time tonight in their history at Cameron Indoor. And Debbie, getting a win a handful of years later, but that's the only time. Duke's won 9 straight here in this building against Virginia Tech. Hokies came in, had won 2 straight and 3 of the last 4 in a series that dates back to 1912. Here's Roach. It's still been 16 years since Virginia Tech has beaten Duke in this building. 2007 was the lone year of the Hokie win. What a night for Roach.
See how Roach gets to the logo, pulls up? He can get there all day.
Almost turned over. Basile 19-point lead.
Look how hard Hunter Couture is moving without the ball. Proctor is right on his hip.
And Basile finally.
To see that movement by Couture, because you got to help on his cut a little bit. So you got to guard him with one person, and everyone else has to have half their attention on him. And they've done an excellent job tonight, really limiting him. He hasn't even taken a three.
Yeah, 13 straight double figures now for Basile. And there's Mitchell on a dunk. He's got 6.5 and 17 in the game. Couture's missed 1 3 tonight, Debbie. But you're right. Duke has put him at the top of the card and defended him accordingly.
And one of the problems that Virginia Tech has had tonight with their defense is keeping Duke out of the paint.
But that goes back to what you said at the top. If Duke's improved in areas, spacing may be one of the biggest, right?
No question about it on the offensive end. Their spacing has been outstanding, and it's the way they move without the ball.
Mitchell.
It's the way they cut, too, Wes.
Filipowski had it taken away. This is Rice. He's got Padula and tried to go to Mutz, and the Blue Devils forced a turnover there.
That's the game reps that I'm talking about, doing things at game speed. Rodney Rice would complete that play if he had been 100% healthy and with the team all season, but he's just getting back. Oh, good slice cut.
And Filipowski, an easy bucket. Second field goal for the freshman from Westtown, New York.
That action is so hard to guard because of the three-point shooting on the weak side.
Duke's got 13 points off the 8 Virginia Tech turnovers tonight.
Proctor is lock and trail on Couture.
Rounded, and the 3 bounced away.
And so when you haven't made one, and now we're late in the game, and now you're coming off that curl, and you're working off that pin down, it might accelerate your rhythm a little bit offensively if you're Hunter Couture. Good slip.
And Filipowski will get the basket and 1.
Duke's got you all spaced out. The paint is wide open. John Shire is dialing it up right now. On the strong side, the 2 side, the slip. They clear out the back side. No help. Filipowski at the rim. Point lead. John Shire got his team executing and dicing up Virginia Tech's defense. Now watch Proctor right here. He's going to make a great basket cut. Okay? He's selling this cut like there's a pass coming. Look at the hand calling for the ball. Look at now, hold it right here. Now he's going to set the up screen right here. And it's a great slice cut by Filipowski. Padula tries to bump him off his rhythm a little bit. Look at the spacing by Duke. The lane is wide open. Very good execution. Great timing by the Blue Devils.
Filipowski on the free throw. And it's now a 23-point lead for the Blue Devils as we go inside of 6 minutes to play here. Duke trying to get to 12-6 in the ACC and 21-8 overall. Kidd is back in the ball game, and a foul on Mitchell.
2 hands in the back. That's a foul.
So one of the things I think we're learning in John Shire's first year as the Blue Devil head coach, and pardon me for backing up into the fall where we talk football about play callers, offensive, defensive coordinators, right?
Right.
We're finding out John Shire may be a really, really talented play caller as a head basketball coach.
I think he is. I mean, I think based on my experience calling the game and watching what he's done and how they space the floor and the way they share the ball, the multiple weapons that they have, and there's no selfishness on this team at all. So they take advantage of what they have, and they do a good job of playing off each other, playing off each other's space.
Another foul on Kidd will be his 3rd. They won all 14 of their regular season games so far at home, and apparently they're ready to change the tote board tonight. Well done, sir, on your part. They are 8-0 in the ACC, trying to go 9-0 tonight, and boy, talk about a big game. Tuesday night, the Wolfpack will come over from Raleigh.
Boy, they ought to be steaming a little bit, huh?
Well,
Clemson put it on them.
Well, how about Duke also the last time they saw NC State over at PNC in early January?
You know, one of the conversations we had with John Shire yesterday was, we know they believed, but when did they trust? He told us they played at NC State, they lost. They didn't compete. They lost at Miami. He didn't feel like they competed. When they got ready to play Virginia up in Charlottesville, he felt like they were locked in. That's when he knew that they trusted. Greater than believing. Two totally different concepts in basketball.
Yep.
He's got them playing at a high level right now.
Sure does. I mean, they're looking at 4 straight, 7 of their last 9 with a win tonight. Wolfpack here on Tuesday, and then I don't have to tell you where next Saturday night ends.
You going over there? Chapel Hill? You going to be over there, Wes?
No, I'll be in Clemson for the final game of the ACC season next Saturday night.
I'll be at the ACC women's tournament after the semis watching that game.
That'll be a pretty nice night. Pretty good basketball all the way around. Inside, Mutz had it blocked by Lively. Now back at him again, and last touched by Mutz. It will go to Duke. Don't forget our next stop on this Saturday night full of college basketball. Saturday primetime presented by John Deere. We will take you to Spokane. There is Drew Timme. And the 12th ranked Zags welcoming the Gales of St. Mary's tonight, 10 o'clock Eastern, with Dan, Jay, and Sean Farnham on the call. One
of the best skilled big guys in the country.
Yep.
And if St. Mary's is going to get the sweep, because they've won 4 of the last 5, Logan Johnson's going to have to play really well, controlling the tempo of the game.
Padula
for St. Mary's.
As we go inside of 4 minutes. How good a job does Randy Bennett do, Debbie?
He's terrific.
Oh.
He's a great teacher of the game, and I think he and Mike Young have a lot of similarities in the way they approach the game.
Boy, he's done an unbelievable job at Moraga with just player development, the international flavor to his roster, and the kind of guys he gets to come to that program. And there is a off-the-ball foul on the Blue Devils. That'll get us to a timeout. 3.5 to go and a 22-point lead. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Wendy's. 2 for $6. The best name with HVL and the cards at the Yum Center. That'll be a terrific environment as well.
Great post matchup in the Indiana-Iowa game. Not just Caitlin Clark, but Mackenzie Holmes for Indiana and Monica Sinano for the Hawkeyes.
And Lively the rebound of the Hokie miss. I was going to ask you tonight, in your pantheon of players, Caitlin Clark is in the discussion?
Oh, man, she's... You know, there's a 2-player race, I think, for Player of the Year on the women's side. Aaliyah Boston from South Carolina, who is the #1 team in the country and undefeated.
Yep.
Dawn Staley's done another terrific job with her team. Those 2 are the Player of the Year, I believe. That's a 2-player race.
Basile on a nice take.
And Boston swept all the awards last year. I don't think that will happen this year. I think there could be a split. I think some will vote for Boston. I think some will vote for Clark.
Yeah. Virginia Tech, of their 12 losses, none had been by more than 10 points. They'd had 2 of those. The loss at Syracuse and the other one in Charlottesville against Virginia, but this one's double that with less than 2.5 to go. Roach and another Lively dunk. Dereck was around the rim on one field goal that could have been a dunk but was technically a layup. Everything else is, he's had 2 hands on the rim.
What a great weapon. I mean, this is just great action right here. Look at how many jerseys are around the ball for Virginia Tech, and he's wide open, and Duke just overloads and allows Lively to have the rim to himself.
Yep. John Shire puts Jalen Blakes and also Jaden Shute into the lineup. He's a freshman from Yorkville, Illinois. First time we have seen Shute. He's Played 3 minutes last Saturday night at Syracuse, wearing number 14 for the Blue Devils.
And as we grow closer to March, right, and I know there's a big week coming up, but this is where Duke is getting better, right? Their depth's better. They're taking care of the basketball. We've already documented how good their spacing is.
Yeah, Virginia Tech, we told you got to turn around and play Tuesday night against Louisville. And Duke's got all 5 guys in double figures tonight.
Back to back. They had all 5 starters in double figures against Louisville in their last game.
Yep.
All those examples illustrate the kind of connectivity they're playing with on both ends of the floor.
Don't forget Big Monday starts in Tallahassee at 7 o'clock. Florida State off the dramatic win at Miami will welcome Carolina. And then off to the Big 12. Baylor is in Stillwater to see Oklahoma State at Gallagher-Iba Arena. Both games on ESPN, always available for you on the app. Rice dials up another 3. That's 3 of them in the ball game for Rodney Rice.
But clearly you can see what he could be.
Yep.
Unfortunately for him, the injury bug has got him all season. Just his 3rd game.
Here's Blake's with 80 seconds left to go. But Debbie has a foul on Poteet. It begs, though, there may be a window for Rice before this season is gone for Virginia Tech. And here's Joe Lunardi's afternoon run, by the way, of the bracketology. Joe's a man of the people now, Debbie. He's delivering goods about every 6 hours. And Virginia's a 4 now. Miami a 5, Duke a 7, State an 8, Pitt a 10, and North Carolina first 4 out.
So this is after these teams have played today, right?
Yes, that is correct.
So after Virginia lost and Miami lost and NC State lost, very little movement there.
No, very little at this point. And Clemson is in that next 4 where Carolina's listed in the first 4.
Clemson should be in the conversation. I don't see any reason why they shouldn't. They had a couple of bad losses, but...
How about this guy? Last 4 for Julian Strother and the Zags, huh?
Just to finish that point on Clemson, Wes, P.J. Hall played really well today. Hunter Tyson continues to lead. I think Brad Brownell's done a terrific job. I mean, Coach of the Year, Brad Brownell.
Jeff Capel. Either one.
In conversation, right? Both those guys.
Absolutely. One picked 10th in the preseason, one picked 14th. And the guy who won today against Syracuse was picked 14th, and he won his 14th conference game today. Terrific year for Pittsburgh, and there is Collins. And Pitt's going to go the final week of the regular season with the lead in the ACC. Now, they got customers behind them. Miami, Virginia, and Clemson all with 5 losses. Duke is on the way to being 12-6 in the league with a win here tonight, and then NC State at 12-7, and ironically, Tuesday night.
Yeah, Tuesday night's a big night here in Cameron. NC State comes in here, and I know Kevin Keatts will get his group reconnected. I think Terquavion Smith is overdue for a big game.
Yep. John Camden, a redshirt freshman who transferred from Memphis, just knocked down his 6th 3 of the year for his first basket. And the Blue Devils with a 17-point lead as they wind out the final half minute, and Blake's missed on the 3, and Camden Johnson battled shoot for the loose ball, and Ted Valentine is going to tag the rookie shoot with a foul. Duke going to 15-0 at home. I had a nice visit with John Shire about, hey, you got a freshman shooter from Illinois on the roster? Yeah, that's kind of the way we work around here, isn't it? I said, yes, it is. Of course, John was a terrific player.
All-American, won a national championship as a player, 2-time captain for Coach K.
Yep. Camden Johnson, appearing in his 7th game of the year, misses his first free throw attempt of the season. And the Blue Devils can bring this across the timeline and dribble it out. And that's what Max Johns has been charged to do. And with 8 seconds left, it's just a matter of Duke winding this out. That'll do it. Duke was impressive, Debbie. Big run, 8-0, 9-0, and then 10-0 in the second half to post this win tonight.
They moved the ball. They played great D. Very connected on both ends of the floor. Big win at home to protect their court.
Blue Devils will stay in the race.